Welcome Bagas, kali ini kita akan menyaksikan game ketiga penentuan siapakah yang akan mendapatkan poin kemenangan antara Echo vs RSG PH. Who is the real Benny Kitty?
That's Gwyn.
That's a Romer Gwyn.
Oh yeah, Gwyn.
I've never seen one.
I was thinking Edith again. Gwyn. Okay, Terizla Gwyn. The only thing I don't like about the Gushin is it is so risky. Like we've seen this before, right? I mean, right now he's got the 0% run rate. It's flashy, it's cool.
Yeah,
but
was the last played by Hatred from TNC.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it can fizzle out real quickly.
Yeah, but then the difference then was TNC didn't necessarily have the better late game scaling lineup. It was a little bit too dive all in if they couldn't catch the one. At least, oh wait, no, yeah, you're right. I get what you mean.
Oh.
They even it out with this.
This whole lineup's flashy.
So is this all just backline dive?
No.
Do they just go? They just go hunting? They just go. All right, where's the Claude? Where's the Nova?
As funny as it is, these two teams just straight up built up for their backline. Except that, because there's like a lot of there's petrifies, crowd controls.
Right.
It's just like, it's not going to be a fun time for the frontliners. The backliners are just like, all right, thank you guys so much.
So for Echo, you're saying it's just for Benny. It's literally just
Yeah,
for Benny.
this is a built for Benny lineup.
BFB.
Built for Benny.
Yeah, the BFB lineup. Built for Benny.
Okay. And for RSG, I'm looking at a more well-rounded lineup. But just the same, Guinevere has had a very tough Season 13, and I'm being very, very generous.
Yeah.
Tough to be Guinevere.
Very tough. Again, I think one of the biggest problems as to why the Guinevere have fallen, or biggest reasons, is off the board, so the Ruby's not there.
No, that happened last week too. I know you're seeing the Khalid
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a in-studio.
in-studio issue.
Yeah.
There's a Khalid in the arena somewhere.
Yeah, you know what they say? You had to be here.
Yeah, you had to be here to realize. But nope, no errors there. It is a Benedetta that was last picked there by Echo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the picture for Benedetta.
All right.
I wonder in some ways the Gwyn sort of like a counter to the Cushion as well because of the little clone that she
Yeah,
used behind.
it's a Kufra at home. Is the vibe I'm getting.
Wait, Guinevere is Kufra at home?
Yeah.
Because that's the case, I'm staying home more.
These days she doesn't get in the engagements as easy because of the nerf on her second skill.
Yeah.
And her damage output is clearly nerfed because she's been playing in the roam. So she's Kufra at home.
By the way, interesting fact, RSG dealt Benny Cutie's first deaths of the season in Game 2. So before that, Benny Cutie was deathless.
What a KDA. We haven't seen, I guess because it's only week 2, we haven't seen many of those like KDA stats that we've had
Not yet.
in the past, you know?
Yeah, records held are relatively low. But yeah, no, can confirm the deaths from Game 2 were Benny's first. Because again, Benny's only really played one series.
It's true.
Outplayed has seen
That's
play last weekend too. So
Right, last week they were like the happy uncles, if you
Yep.
will, right? When Zaida and Outplayed got a chance to
Benny
play.
and Carl were just watching.
Yep.
Happy uncles. You make them sound like they're so old.
Well, you know.
Could have been happy kuyas.
Well, to be fair, Benny
Yeah,
Cutie is.
why did you immediately go uncle? Why not like a happy older
To
brother?
be fair, Benny Cutie is a dad.
That's true. Proud dad of that. And let's see who'll be louder, who'll be prouder, who will rise and slay harder. RSG PH versus Echo, game number 3. Whoever wins this, again, to remind you, the new point system in MPL Philippines, 3 points will go to the victor.
Here we go. Again, the vision very clearly on RSG's side. Quick peek at our emblems here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing
out of
I'm
the ordinary.
spotting quite yet.
One thing I want to point out here, though, Leo, double petrify actually for Echo.
Yeah, Petrify on Sanj and Petrify on San. Again, that's what we noted. And again, we haven't really seen a build for either hero without Petrify. So this is the norm. This is the standard. Something else to note, 3 Brave Smites on RSG. They're playing for sustain. Do they want to stay in the lane?
I think that's RSG also respecting the... Considering that they're up against ability-focused main damage dealers on the side of Echo, the Brave Smite will help counteract that, if I'm not mistaken, yeah? So, to stay, they're respecting it. And they know they want to be able to buy time, as much time as possible for Kusei and Aqua to be a menace. Speaking of Aqua, I feel like will be another X factor here. How well he'll be able to drop down the Astral, recalls, and everything in between.
Ooh,
That poke already.
Le Duel.
Is that how the French say it? Le duel?
I can't claim, I don't speak French.
Oh, I thought you did.
Oui.
See, Echo now. Let's see if they can be able to win this first turtle fight. And I wonder if the trend will continue of disastrous turtle fights for either of these two teams here in Game 3.
Well, looks like it's going to break out here once again. Both teams going in,
Oh.
and they're going to find the connection, though. Penalty zone
Wow.
still going through. Sanji, though, look at the damage on Aqua. JP going to be the one to fall here. Carl Teasy will be the next. It's a double, though, but Sanji takes a couple shots. Demon Kite gets a triple in this exchange, and the turtle.
Too slow of an uptick from Echo. The sources of damage and the way that they output it happen much slower as compared to how RSG are able to answer back. We'll see here in the replay exactly where it went wrong and how the Detna's welcome able to turn things around. It started off with a quick spot from Aqua's Novaria, and then again that'll just allow for RSG to lean hard into it. And next thing you know, again, I take it back. I apologize now. This is not Who Front Home. This is Guinevere in the roam. And so far, Light's making it work. Light is just sitting in on that. Was a full combo that he was able to pull off.
Yeah, the layering of combinations dished out there by Echo, actually. It started off Detona's welcome, followed up by Nas with the penalty zone as Echo entered, and then Light with just the cherry on top.
So good.
With the Violet Requiem. Echo need to be careful with their dive entries. And that's 3 games in a row now. The trend continues. Disastrous first turtle fights.
That first turtle, man. And with that, again, it's a small lead, but RSG, if that same thing happens with the second turtle, that Echo needs to learn.
And I think from game 1, game 2, whoever won the first turtle actually won the game.
Yeah.
Even if you saw a small comeback come mid-game, or even in the late game wherein there was a good turnaround back and forth, which both games so far in the series have not gone very far. Well, the longest was 16? Under.
Something about that,
Under 18, definitely.
That's
It's hard. Echo has to find a way to play from the defense.
Yeah. And I think I see now what RSG really wants to do. As you look up the items, still no Dreadnought armor, the side of Echo. Again, I will still continue to recite that.
Gentlemen, 700 gold between Demon Kite and Carl.
Ooh.
That's what that triple will do him, you know? I mean, this gives him that lead. And so I feel like leading into the second turtle, Echo's got to be careful how they approach it. Carl Teasy going to get in position, though.
This is a snowballed Barrett's at this point. See who gets it. Good positioning by Echo, but RSG, they want to contest.
Yep, there's the flicker from Light into the Blazing Duet. Sanji taken out so quick there. Sanford with Electro final blow, going to be battling out. Turtle will be taken, though, by Demon Kite. Can they stay alive? Sanford won't be able to get away. Nas takes the brunt of the damage, has to flicker out, but is going to be fine with the body of Smith, and they come out on top again.
Oh, man. Light committing the flicker there for the perfect moment, the right pickoff. Sanji wasn't even able to get half of his combo in, dare even think of using the Petrify, and that immediately was the go signal for RSG to go in, lean hard, score another turtle, get a turn. Aqua down, though.
Yep, Sanji able to pick up a kill. Can he stay alive? Light gets a retreat. Now Carl Teasy there to help him out, but Sanji will stay alive in the exchange.
All right, a turnaround and a trade too late.
Yep.
But still, I think RSG are winning this clearly, even with 1,500 gold.
Yeah, and Light's feeling it tonight. I believe one of the things mentioned in the English broadcast where you were in last week, Naisu, with Onyx versus RSG PH was that our Light felt passive.
Yeah.
This time now, though, 3 games in a row, he's been the opposite of that. He's been taking...
Wanted to see from Light in this matchup, right? As we were talking about, especially the jungle, matchup between Demon Kite and Carl Teasy, it's what we needed to see from Light in that adjustment for this lineup here. Oh, top side. Kosei gonna be in trouble, takes quite a bit of damage. Tries to Blazing Duet to anything he can get, but will go down.
A moment of weakness there, vulnerability from RSG. It looked like there was no plan to even try and protect Kusei there.
Yeah. Also could have been a great read there for Echo. Alongside that, Kusei may have overstepped just a little bit further. Yeah, item checkups, light, Athena shield rush. So he really just wants to survive against that Gushin.
Yep. Oh, if anything, just the Gushin.
Yep.
And of course, sit under Carl Tizzi's ult, which I was going to try to talk about just now. There's very little that the Puissance does, actually. Sure, it compromises Demon Kite, compromises Nats, but Light actually changes the dynamic here. As long as Light finds a good combo, there's very little that the Puissance should do against RSG.
Yeah. Both roamers have ultimates and their flickers. Let's see who'll go for the set first.
There it is. They get the Daytona's welcome down. Aqua's the one to get the turtle. They have to win the fight. Benny Cutie unleashing on the backside. Nats takes quite a bit of damage, but Sanford that falls. Aqua quite low as well. Benny Cutie can't find the kills he was looking for. Sandy couldn't as well. Double for Navs. And Echo struggling in the team fight.
The Raiders come in, take what they need, and walk away with a smile on their face. Another turtle scored by RSG, but in an unconventional way. Again, Sanford and Sanji trying to find their targets via a full combo. Could not. Aqua protecting himself very well, and again, with a fadeaway turtle take, able to secure them a 3,000 gold lead. Where's the majority of that gold lead? Ladies and gentlemen, it is currently on Nats. Nats is about 1,000 almost ahead of his lane mate, and then it's all equally spread out across. So that means RSG can take it, I don't want to say nice and slow, but just move on forward, march at this solid pace, and make Echo think of, again, where do we commit our ults? Where do we find the full combo, the pickoff? Because it hasn't really happened.
Yeah, and Benny Cutie's not quite there yet in terms of the damage output. RSG just feels like they're way too tanky. Every team fight we've seen, especially the last one, it looks like Echo just threw everything out already. But then RSG still looked relatively healthy. Aqua was able to get away, the pokes of Kusei, and it seems like when RSG, when it's their turn to deal the damage, the members of Echo are falling down quickly. Now, a little bit of a difference is that Sanji finally got to build up a glowing one, so that might help a little bit further. He's up against a tanky set of heroes on the side of RSG.
It's even with that, everything that's happened here now under the 10-minute mark, 4,000 gold lead here for RSG. This is looking very similar to what we saw in the previous game, but Echo will continue to get in position for the team fights, for these objectives, and that's probably what they're going to do here again for this Lord.
And what makes it worse, gentlemen, is that Echo's lineup does much less now on the defense compared to their lineup in game number 2. This is a lineup that relishes and flourishes as an aggressive lineup. And now they're forced to play behind the bush, from inside their jungle, from inside their base. But wait, watch Sanji, watch Sanji.
Oh, he's too late. Not able to get there, but Carl Tizzi now can't even move, can't play. Gonna get whittled down, taken down. Light goes in, Sanji on the backside, trying to get a combination. Demon Kite is low, will get taken down. Benny Cutie on the backside as well, firing off on Naz, gets the flicker down, gets hunted down. Sanford goes in, Sanji gets the kill though. Echo fights back, but they lose the Lord.
May have spoken too soon. Echo still had one left in the chamber and came out with a, I'd say, wait. Okay, they're done. All right, wait, are they?
He's
Should
slowed.
be fine. Has the heal. Sanford there with the rest of the team. Light gonna be the one in trouble. One hit away. Will survive. Echo has to respond to the Lord on the bottom.
All right, let's talk about it. How did it come to this? Number one, I think at some point Echo understood that we're not gonna win off of Carl Tizzi. We're not gonna win this Lord take.
Yes.
They gave that up and then scrambled RSG to the point where Sanji and Sanford can actually make a difference. And the fact that they're still alive and they were able to get a few kills on the backswing and get a shutdown, mind you, allowed for them to keep this gold lead manageable and actually allowed for RSG to gain very little off of that Lord. We're going to see here the recap. The Lord gains from RSG's take, and this is so much smaller than even compared to game 2.
Yep. Echo right now still in a much better position to be able to claw their way back, but RSG continue to push that gap, taking control of the map. And one thing I want to point out also for the last sequence was Kusei actually using the Purify as a little speed boost to avoid getting taken down by Sanji. So he knows he's watching out for that Gushin, because I feel like at this point Sanji's job is simple. Take either Kusei or Aqua down, better if it's both.
Yeah, even with that, despite everything, Echo holds on to the majority of their base turrets for now. And I mean, given how that whole exchange went, you saw how zoned out they were from that Lord fight. So I'm wondering, the fact that they proved that they can fight back, I wonder how Echo approaches the next objective.
Oh, wow. Here's the point proven. They actually netted less. They lost 800 gold on the swing back from Echo with the shutdowns from Sanji and Sanford. Something else to note, Sanji isn't even fully built yet. He needs maybe 2 more items before he actually becomes a threat. So, yeah, say what you will about... Oh, wait. Oh, grant the purple. Say what you will about this lineup being pick-off-centric and wanting to go fast and early. I think they've yet to hit their actual power spike. Players like Sanji, players like Sanford, they always have something up their sleeve. And I think now, especially once they build their 3rd and 4th items, those Lord fights should make a difference. Hell, if they're both missing, you better check your 6, man. So that's why the Novari...
That Sanford actually already built the 3rd item, and it's a Sea Hopper, so it's full damage for Sanford himself. Sea Hopper, Malefic Roar, and then the Hunter Strike.
Yep.
So they really know, and again, this lineup is built for that carry. But I agree with you. Power Spike ain't completely hit yet unless the Goshen has items. RSG already rushing the Lord.
Conceal play going to come down now. Takes quite a bit of damage. Huge penalty zone though. Into the blazing duet. Fight for the Lord. Still going to break down. The final ball comes down. Sanford taken out. Takes out Kusei. It's coming. That gets the Lord. RSG has a blunder for the Lord. Things whittled down, dissipated, and Echo Express down the mid.
Talking about objective fights for RSG, that's a Pyrrhic victory. They lost so much in pursuit of the Lord. But looking back, it's a big trade. Again, any kind of kills that Echo scores goes their way. And I stand corrected. They were able to thread the needle, and Echo actually scores. It's Echo's Lord. Yeah. What? Let's see that replay one more time.
Yeah. Carl Deasy able to get it there.
What?
All right.
Okay.
A little, the knock up. Demon Kite, this. Carl Deasy was just in range.
Just outside.
Demon Kite was knocked up for just a moment, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, literally just outside.
Yeah.
Oh, everything just came in so quickly. Watching that Lord knock up, I missed out on the fact that, never mind. It's all Echo now. Echo won that fight, clearly.
Yeah. Big turnaround here. The Orcas, the Killer Whales smell blood. They push forward. I'm pretty sure at this point, they have now hit their power spikes. And again, this is just indicative of the rivalry of these two, how they know each other so well and how well both of these two teams play. Items update, Leo, where we at, bro?
There it is. The G-dubs, the glowing wand, the genius wand, and the DG, the divine glaive. Beautiful stuff, and I think Sanji's going to start playing around with his tech here and slowly build up to a winner tranche so he can actually walk out of full-on combos. Key here is Sanford, actually. Sanford is, if anything, making this turnaround possible for Echo. The fact that he's able to output so much damage and walk away from it now, because again, he's slowly building up his Festival of Blood stacks, while also building slightly defensive now. Homie has a blade armor now. So it's not as easy for even Nats, even Kusei to say, you know what, this is free pickings. So I'm liking the turnaround, the swing from Echo.
At this point, as we got a glimpse at the items being locked in here, it's kind of, it's scary to see how it comes down to that minute detail when it comes to the Lord fights, right? Like when you even think, hey, RSG has somewhat control of this pit, they should be able to pull it off, and then again, some of the interactions, whether it's the petrifies, whether it's the combinations, whether it's even electro final blow, or just the right timing, if you will, even from Carl Teasy, it's still 50-50, and that was the case even back from game 1.
Yep. Throwing back to game number 2, where Benny Curie was playing the Claude, I compared his blazing duets to acupuncture treatment. It's just like multiple needles being thrown at you, like, oh, this is terrible.
So what is it now?
Right now, this lineup that Echo was able to harness going into the late game now, it feels like just Wing Chun pressure punch.
Oh, you're going for martial arts. I was thinking of something like 20 peso coins getting thrown at you. Those things are thick.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just pressure points, martial arts, is because you see the Gushin and the Benedetta?
Yeah.
They're able to hurt hard enough in the specific points where RSG can't protect Kusei and Aqua,
That's true.
wherein it's compromised now. Look at these two deaths on Kusei and Aqua, right? Those are the two deaths each that Sanji and Sanford worked so hard to set up.
Yeah.
And that's what made this turnaround right now, about 15 minutes in, possible.
Yeah, and as the longer the game extended, and now that Echo have finally hit their power spikes, and as we even saw in the last objective take, what RSG did for their success, chaining their crowd control together to punish the entry dive of Echo.
Yeah.
Now Echo have adjusted their playstyle a little bit, conserved a little bit more, but most importantly, the question of RSG of will they actually be able to survive the damage onslaught just getting tossed out? Because when you go in, try to chain your crowd control, as we saw in the last one, they eat up what? Known Fury,
Yep.
the final blow, and then that just leaves their backline kind of exposed there. Aqua has felt that, especially up against Sanji, who's just been hunting him down relentlessly. So now I think RSG have to change up their approach if they want to crawl back into this. And, well, in terms of item-wise, it's still really close, but they really have to get more peel for their back line. They can't just all dive.
Oh, as we go into the game, I'm going to answer your question. The answer is no. Actually, they cannot survive whenever Echo is able to get that vice grip, the alligator roll, or in this case, the orca roll onto them. Once they bite down, that's it. But good news is for the Raiders is it's not as easy. Remember, a lot of the turnaround moments from Echo here in game number 3, 15 minutes in, I'd say that was what, twice now in a row?
Twice.
It's so hard to set up. They have to flank. They have to find a free bush that Sanji and Sanford can sit in for them to get that bite down. So, yeah, once Echo get it, it's so hard to recover, to roll back from.
Yep.
But Echo have to set it up well. And it's not so easy because they don't have much vision.
Yeah, with everything we talked about, I feel like Joseph here, Naisu, said it best. With these two, feels like everything's a 50-50.
Yeah, it
Never
does.
really know how it goes.
Toss a coin, right? I mean, at this point, with both these teams, gold lead or not, it comes down to it. And that's why we mentioned earlier, they're a lot alike, whether they admit it or not. And the way that they execute the game plan here is a little bit different with the lineups that they have, but ultimately, it's these minor details.
Where we are now is but the fulfillment of what Echo was alluding to, what they were foreshadowing in game number 2. The fact that they were so aggressive even when they were on the backswing, when they were on up against the ropes. Now it makes sense. It's because they got to this point by continuing to be aggressive.
Yeah.
They got to this point by still hoping and trusting in Sanford and Sanji and in their pickup potential that now they're ahead 2K.
Have to watch a minion wave management here. RSG.
Top side.
This is a very interesting call by RSG, but one that could be devastating if they decide to call for it. But the minion wave needs to be pushed up a little bit more if they want to. Leo, what else do we have to watch out for?
You gotta watch out for the fact that Echo have really bad wave clear. You're talking about RSG making the call. RSG looking for long lane management. Good news is Echo actually has to put so much effort into protecting their own waves, their own turns. Look at this. See, they know where Sanford is, so that means one less problem.
They're gonna give it a go.
Light and Kusei, how they're positioning right now. They're waiting for something. They're waiting for Sanford, but Sanford has read it. Naisu.
Sanford cleared that wave. Now they have the full force of the Echo Express here against the Raiders. A fourth of the counter initiation or try to start up themselves, but it's going to reset.
Oh, what a dance.
A little salsa between the former Kings of Sea, former champions of the world, the Orcas, getting hot in the river. Full reset now. Okay, so what are they looking for here, Leo? Well, what's with the reset? Is it something with the minions or vision?
It's the full lean on. It's the full engage. Neither team are finding it, so neither team are willing for this Lord to go. Because both teams are using this Lord for their own sake.
Yeah.
Both teams rely on this Lord to stay.
Yeah, and at the same time, again, because of these two teams, when they fight, it feels like a 50-50. You can't even say that if Echo initiated first, they'd win the fight. Because RSG can turn it around, and vice versa. So now, I feel like that's why RSG is leaning more a little into the macro focus of it all. Because they know with Echo, it's a 50-50.
Well,
So they try to manage the minion waves to pressure Echo to make a mistake.
and I think that's the right call, is because Echo can't go tit for tat when it comes to macro.
True.
So now they're going to try to
Rush
muscle in.
Okay, at this point, I think Echo's going to turn. Someone's going to turn at this point. This is it.
The point of no return.
Point of
They
no
have to.
return.
It might even be Navs here. Again, he has that mortality. Vision's going to come down as well. JP jumps in. There's the
Oh,
they get a little bit of poke down. Lord's still going to be worked on. There's the penalty zone to come through. Naz has to flicker around. They're going to fight for it. Call TZ. Can he get the entry off his demon kite? Gets the Lord. Can they stay alive? Benny Cutie unleashing on that side. It's too much damage from Echo. Naz falls next. 3 down for RSG. Echo just has to work on the Lord here, but RSG has 2 members.
An immaculate and brutal turn from Echo. Yes, they sacrificed the Lord, but at the cost of a 3-for-none trade. Now RSG are left in the corner.
Minions jump into the base. It's only Kusei. Echo Express comes in with a decisive win in a 3-game series. No minions just yet. They still have time.
Oh, they got it. They got this.
Waves are making their way down. Despite 5 seconds away, Echo will take the series.
We did him dirty.
They did it dirty. RSG reminded that they got wiped out. The classic rivalry ends with a classic ending. A classic Echo hero turn leads to a mythical, immortal victory against the Raiders.
That is as explosive and a bombastic turn at the end as it gets.
Bombastic.
Of course, you had to lose the Lord fight. Of course, you had to feign the fact that, a lonely Gushin and I don't know who else was in the bush there with the Sanji who just walked face first into a penalty zone. What a read from RSG's XP laner, again, with an MVP performance, MVP of a career so far too. But in the end, it's just Echo's aggression, their willingness to lean into these situations.
I love when these 2 teams play against each other.
It's always so... Since Season 10, I swear, since Season 10, they just keep putting on an absolute show.
It's gonna be good as they take their bow.
And it was definitely great. And as they walk forward into the crowd, of course, they walk away with 1 point. A bit of a wounded pride, knowing these 2. Next time they meet again, maybe this time it'll be RSG standing tall. But for now, let's revel in the victory and acknowledge the winners of this match. Echo with Maragino and Hans Galleria.
Everybody, let's give it up to Echo. Wow! Job well done. Okay, you guys, nakuha nyo yung... Dito ka
Alayo
naman sa
nila.
akin. Anong meron? Okay, you guys got game 1. Pagpunta ng game number 2, na-wipe out kayo not once, but twice. When it mattered the most, in the last few couple of minutes in the game, kayo naman ang nakakuha ng wipeout. Nanggigil ka ba pagkatapos ng game number 2? At paano mo nagamit yung nangyari sa inyo para naman makabawi ng game 3?
Hindi naman po ako nanggigil. Siguro po, pag mas kalmado ako, mas nakapag-isip kami na maayos. Kaya, ayun, bawi lang kami.
So, kalma ka pag mga moments na ganon. Hindi ka napipikon or anything.
Aba.
Okay, may gusto kang sabihin kay Demon Kite?
Nice, G-Kite. Last mo.
Pananibago
Very
ako ng
nice.
konti. Pananibago ako ng konti. Now I want to talk to Benny Cutie. Benny, madalas na naman RSG kasi action-packed palagi. What about RSG, in your opinion, makes them a good matchup kontra sa Echo?
Siguro po kasi aggressive din sila lalo na sa early stage ng game. And yun nga, yung malakas yung tatlo nila sa mid. So talagang dikdikan kapag sila kalaban ng yan nila Sanji.
Okay. And I think this is also the first death na this season.
Death this season. Ilang series na kayo? 3? Pangatlong series na to,
Nakakailang
no?
series na kayo?
Yes.
3 na, di ba?
Apo.
Pangatlo niya na. And first death niya pa
First
lang
death.
in this series. That shows a lot. What do you think about your performance so far and sa lahat ng Echo at sumusuporta sa inyo? What do you think about your performance so far and kamusta yung nagiging takbo ng Echo in and out of the game?
Oo nga, bakit ang hirap mo patayin?
Ano
Real.
po, siguro okay. Sa tingin naman po namin may improve pa talaga yung bawat galaw ng isa and yung as a team. So ayun, di kami titigil mag-practice para ma-reach yung form ulit namin.
Mature Benny. Mature Benny. Once again, let's give him a big round of applause. Congratulations to Echo. You may now take your bow and take your walk of victory. Congratulations to Echo. Grabe, ang galing ni Benny. Ngayon lang siya namatay since nagsimula yung ating season.
Parang ibang usapan pag sa atin na nanggaling, but that extends the Orca streak to 3 straight wins.
At maganda rin na yung ating rivalry with Carl and Kite
Still there.
still there, but
Healthy
they
rivalry.
respect each other.
Yep.
Good job nga. Himayin na natin ang ating laban. Balikan na natin ang ating casters. Pasok.
Thank you, Mara and Hans, and of course, congratulations to Echo, chiller, calmer, more mature Echo. And I think that's sort of reflective of what Sanji said in his interview. More controlled this time around.
They won today, right? But I'm proud of the Raiders, man. Right? They put on a good show, and I can't wait to see them play again later this season. But still, I would say that series was 50-50 all throughout.
Yeah. Again, indicative of the rivalry of these two. How similar they are. Leo, who's our MVP?
It's going to be hard to read, but I think come that final moment, which we'll see highlights of in just a bit, you'll know that it's Benny Curie, deathless in game number 3, able to take the most out of what his pick-off-centric mid laner and XP laner set up, and of course, what Daddy JP and the young GOAT Carl TZ did to threaten major objectives all throughout game number 3. Here are the highlights, and it's no secret when I say, folks, it's been a rough road for Echo playing through game number 3. Here you'll see how that early on collapse failed to come to fruition, and yeah, there was the eventual pickoff in the back line on Sanji, but check this out. Light early on committed the flicker, spatial migration, full-on combo, and just compromised Echo going into these ladder lord fights. And here you'll see shades of Benny Curie actually understanding his importance, understanding how impactful he would be eventually. And come this second lord, you'll see the comeback. You'll see how not only did Echo score the lord, but they eventually started to go into trading up. That was a 2 for 3. And here in their final fight, in their final lord collapse, Benny Curie just right outside damage range, understands that he is their only real source after Sanji and Sanford commit their full-on kits for the pickoff. And inside their base, once they call endable, they needed to wait for the wave, but eventually they all secured the victory. Looking at their emblem builds, of course, both laners now committed to the Master Assassin. It's almost literally the same layout. Not just almost, literally is. So now expect for this to be your gold lane rivalry as we develop the S13 metagame. Looking elsewhere, if you like to allude to later on, is how he played with the vision, waiting for waves to push through, and then going into the jungle to activate his wilderness blessing. That's what allowed for him to actually reposition and find these angles. And yes, indeed, confirmed built a late Holy Crystal and then the Winter Trunch to be able to find those pickoffs. And then look at Sanford as well, building Hybrid to be able to provide the kind of damage output that'll threaten RSG from finding re-engages and then walking away from them as well. Kill participation, again, 71% on Benny Curie and Sanford. Oddly enough, lower on Sanji's because that combo on the Gushin is much, much more troubling. Aqua dealing so much damage on the Novaria as you do, especially if you're relatively unthreatened all throughout mid to early. Alongside everyone from RSG actually collapsing onto their opponents, given the high kill rate participation. 67 the lowest, and that's on Kusei, who later on, sadly, was not caught by the highlights. I think was one of the last casualties. I need to rewatch that replay, and I think just watch this whole game, watch this whole series. You'll pick up quite a few tips on how to play aggressive MLBB, is because they both put on a masterclass, a showcase. I'm definitely going to watch this because I like the way that they both played, and I want to take a hint out of this and play it in my ranked games.
Well, I am still hopeful for Raider Nation, but I will acknowledge the Echo Express.
Knowledge.
And at the same time, they're on that way.
Acknowledge. There
Sorry,
you
how
go.
do I acknowledge? Oh,
There you go. All right. You were saying.
they're on their way to get that streak, I feel like, this season.
Echo?
Echo.
Yeah, let's see if they'll be able to finish their story in terms of getting that goal. Carl Tizzy said it. That is his main goal for the season. Set the new regular season win streak at 12.
So close last year.
So close.
Last season.
Last season. Well, technically last year
year.
too. But yeah, it's been a great day of MLBB action. We've seen a lot more surprise picks. The meta getting flexed. Very interesting. Thank you so much for joining us here. Once again, we are the totally height accurate We Bear Bros. It's Naisu and Leo. We're now going to throw you over to the stage with Hans, Galleria, and Mara Aquino.
You know, Mara, I've been meaning to ask you, ano bang pinagkakaabalahan mo every time that you go to rest?
Well, usually, I listen to podcasts or nagme-meditate ako. I
Okay.
like to be at peace. Ikaw?
Well, I play basketball. It's something that we love to do. Hanggat masaya tayo, it's considered rest, in my opinion. Kapahinga.
Ano yun?
E di sumubaybay sa tahanan ng pinakamalalakas na Mobile Legends Bang Bang players sa buong mundo.
Kung gano'n, naasahan ulit namin kayo bukas dahil 3 maiinit na bakbakan ang naghihintay para sa inyo. Muli, ako po si Mara Aquino.
And my name is Hans Galleria.
Nagpapaalalang magkakaiba man ang ating pinagdadaanan, sama-sama pa rin tayo sa laban.
Para sa tagumpay.
Keep it good vibes, everybody!
See you tomorrow!